I mean, sure, but hummus is
Yeah.
is a delicious food made from chickpeas, I believe. Is it
Chicken
chickpeas?
pea? That's gross. What is order
Is it?
chickpeas like? Bean or like
I'm.
seeds?
It's not chickpeas, is it? Hummus made from. I think it made. Hey, shut the fuck. Pure of cooked chickpeas. Oh, garbanzo beans in parentheses. I didn't realize garbanzo beans and chickpeas were the same thing.
I have no idea what the fuck those are.
I don't know. They're different. Fuck it.
Alright.
I guess some people make hummus out of garbanzo beans. That is not how this is starting.
You don't know that?
Oh my God.
I'm going to Chicago next week.
You're going to Chicago?
Yeah, I'm gonna go in. My goal is to go to Chicago every like either Saturday or every Sunday for the next couple of months.
Why? Just for
I
exploring?
that, but also it's more for the fact that I have plans to go to Japan in 2025,
Okay.
and my goal is to like other than the fact of like being a tourist and explore and like do all that stuff. I want to take
Mm.
photos, and I bought a camera like I think maybe a year and a half ago now, and I took some photos with it, but never really had time to, mainly because I was still at Western. I didn't really have a place to go, and I was too busy like studying, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So now that I'm out of school, I'm working a bit, and I can actually like feasibly like afford to go to Japan in a couple of years. By that I mean like next year.
Yeah.
I can. I want to get back into photography and like actually take it a little more seriously. So my goal is for the next couple of weeks, every weekend, go to Chicago and work on my street photography. And
Oh.
I really want to like have that experience of like being in another country and just like finding those shots and just like be like, wow, I took this.
Yeah, that sounds like a really interesting um way to improve as a photographer with that motivation down the line of like I guess you said 2025. Are you thinking early or late?
Late. I want to go New Year's, which is gonna be why I'm saving
Ooh.
up the entire 2 years, pretty much.
That is a great time to go, yeah, I would think.
I think it's gonna be like
Especially for
expensive.
photography.
Yeah.
And expensive, that's true. Actually, yeah, in terms of cost, it's a terrible time to go.
I have I might move it up or push it to 2026, like maybe a little like January, February, whatever, right? But
Yeah.
I'm going to go, and I've made my spreadsheet, my budget, and like I'm saving up now. So the only things I'm missing out really is just like one, improving my photography skills. So that's one thing. I'm not expecting to go there and be like snap and then make the greatest shot ever, but I
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to
yeah.
practice. So at least when I go there, I don't feel like awkward or feel lost or like I don't know what I'm doing.
But how are you practicing? Like, are you just like, what are you taking pictures of?
So the type of photography that I personally like is street photography. So there's a lot of different types. There's like run and gun street photography where it's like you're quite literally just going around the street taking quick shots. A lot about street photography for me is about the idea of like taking very candid photos of people
Hmm.
just in their life, just taking snapshots of the world. For me, it's like I want to take photos where when you look at it, you're like, I could imagine like me being there and be like, this is something a person actually saw like in real life.
Gotcha. Like capturing the human experience, basically.
Yeah, it's for me, it's like documentary style of just like this is what people are doing right now in either in this city, in this location, in this environment.
Hmm.
And for me, I find that to be something I really want to get really good at because there are just moments I find in life that they are just too fleeting. And to capture like a snapshot, like for me, that's like what photography is about. It's like you want to capture that moment. But for me, for street photography, it's a lot about like what's happening right now in people's lives. Like it's so busy, right? So
Hmm.
catching that one moment, it's like this guy who's angry, not to exploit like their emotion, but be like the emotion of them purposely like this is what's happening in the city, people smiling, having fun. And with how I make fun about like architecture a lot about like in cities just because I find a lot of it be like it's just concrete, but it does take a bit of appreciation to be like, wait, there's actually a bit more design to it. It's a lot more,
Intentional.
yeah, than people think. Like, sure, there are pieces just like it's just stairs, but when you roam around your city enough and like find a way to frame up a shot and find a right composition, it makes that one shot that you could have taken on your iPhone like 10 times better. Granted, okay, I'm not showing on my iPhone. I do have a camera, so I'll say that right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, yeah, for sure. But I mean, like, yeah, I when I asked that, I had a feeling that that was your answer was going to be that sort of human experience type of thing. Because I remember I have very rarely seen photos that you've taken, but the photos that you have shown me that you've taken, there's one that I do remember decently, like particularly well, I think, which was just this, you had some project to go into Chicago and take pictures, and you had found this one person who was like sitting down and like going through some shit on like a side street and like
Yeah,
got
yeah, yeah,
an
yeah.
interesting photo angle from that one. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's a lot of like run and gun where it's like you don't want to. It's so weird. I've seen a lot of street photographers and they talk about this, and it's really funny that all of them say that they're really shy because street photography is a very, it can be like kind of in your face at times, um of like, to not to get too nerdy into it, but for the hobby of like photography, for like for street photography specifically, it's like you can have different types of lenses. So you can have like a 25 millimeter up to like 80 to 100, and pretty much like the higher your millimeter is, right? It's like the farther you can be. It's like more zoomed in, essentially, right?
Yeah.
And the issue is that like I want to shoot on like 25 to like 35 millimeter, meaning you have to be not, you don't have to be like next to the person, but like, you know, you're gonna be in a distance where they when you put the camera next to them, you're gonna be like, oh, this guy's like taking a photo of me, you know. And
Yeah.
a lot of street photographers I've seen, they say like, yeah, I'm really shy, but I do this just to get out of my comfort zone and like get better as a photographer, which is really funny.
Yeah. I mean, it's a kind of a crazy way to actually get it. I mean, I think of street photography as like, how would I put it? Um, like stealth paparazzi for the non-famous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the thing is like there is a style of street photography where like it's I brought up this idea of like I'm not shooting for like to get an emotion or get out like to get people angry, right? I know there are some photographers out there that are purposely like they don't give two shits about whether or not they get in people's faces. They just care about the shot. And
Yeah.
for me, it's like, yeah, I want the shot, but like if it requires me to get almost beat up for it, I don't think it's worth it. And I kind of
Yeah.
treat it like wildlife photography in the sense that like you don't want to like doctor a shot, not in the sense you edit it, but more like you like or like devised the shot in a way like you intentionally like made people like sit down, you made people um like get angry with you just so that they can make a face, you know.
Yeah. You want the equivalent of like sitting around to wait until the a herd of deer naturally disperse rather than running up and dispersing the deer yourself.
Yeah, and for me it's like that's why I treat it like wildlife in the sense like I don't think it takes away so much of like how good the shot is. Like it's a still a good shot, but to know that it wasn't natural makes me a little off put, mainly because of like I don't know how I'd feel like if I went up to a woman and then like aggressively put a camera in her face. Like that makes me look like a fucking pervert. Like
Yeah.
do with a
Add
guy.
to
Like I don't
that,
want to get ran over or like get beat up for it. But
yeah, add to that when you're not in Chicago and can't speak the local language well.
oh dude, I'm gonna be fucked. But yeah, that's why like there's like a
Uh,
lot of practice to like how to get a shot to look inconspicuous. It's to get a shot like to get comfortable like getting near a subject. Like there is like a skill to it. Um
yeah. Oh, definitely.
yeah.
No, I think being able to spot and find the perspective is one of those things that like I really respect people who can do it in photography. I know I could never do it, but I like it's always interesting to see like the angle somebody chooses, the lighting for a specific situation, the distance they are from whatever their focal point is. Just interesting to see how people position. their shots. I think that's one of the major things in my head that makes the difference between like a random photograph that somebody takes and like somebody who's dedicated to their craft.
Yeah. I want to get to that point where like I can make a portfolio that like I feel really proud of. I have a couple of shots now, and like that one guy you're talking about earlier, is one I definitely would put in as of right now, but I'm hoping to expand it a bit more in the coming months.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you were saying you were looking around for lenses that but you were really annoyed about it. And then you
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
what's the more annoying aspect of it though?
yeah. Okay, like
I don't think we went into that.
photography as a hobby for anyone who does it, and especially like, for someone who wants to get like really really into it. And this is kind of bad, like a bad habit of mine. Like I get into hobbies when like I get into them really really deep. Um, Lenses are like obviously like expensive, and now you can get lenses that are like $70 lenses, $120. You know, you can get lenses up to like thousands of dollars, and it really depends on like what you're trying to shoot for and like what you want essentially, right? I
Yeah.
want to do street, so I'm looking at like prime lenses. I'm looking at somewhere between like 22 mils to like 35 millimeters. Um, but not every lens is compatible with every camera. So the camera that I have has a certain lens mount, meaning that in order for me to use a certain lens that I might want to use in the future, I have to either buy an adapter for it, which is more money, or I can use a different lens that is compatible natively, um, but it's not at the same focal length. It's not at the right, whatever reason, right? Now, the more and more I think about it, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm not a professional photographer. I need to like pull myself back a little bit and be like, if I can't shoot on like the bare minimum lens, like these are good lenses still, right? The ones I want to get are like, it's still fine. But like, if I can't shoot correctly and feel comfortable with this, what makes me think that I can buy $1,000 lens and get better shots? You know?
That's a very smart mindset, yeah. It's not a game of how much money you pump into it will make your photos better. It's a game of how you're framing or how your perspective or what you're how you're discerning what you should take a photograph of.
I think it's more because like I've been watching so many YouTube videos about like other street photographers and seeing all the equipment they have, and like falling to like that fallacy of like, oh, this is what they have, therefore I need to have it. But I
Yeah.
think once I got like in high school, I got like more like way smarter with my money, like taking a shit ton of business classes, understanding like this is like good practices, and then like in college, like actually applying them. Like
Mm.
when I did my keyboard hobby, when I was doing like sneakers, when I was doing like other stuff, I learned that I was like, yeah, no, you need to like start really small at the very least, especially for like hobbies that like are expensive, because it sounds cool to have this stuff, but like until you can actually prove you can use it correctly, or like use equipment that are like not as high professional grade, that are not as of the like highest quality, right?
Hmm.
You have to show that like you can actually use it before I can justify myself to get the next level up, you know?
Yeah. It's the I think it's yeah, I guess it's the same mindset that leads people who have these like thousands of dollar cameras to go to stores and buy vintage cameras and
Yeah.
photo shoot with those. I guess that same mindset, but from the early stage rather than the end stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I hate
Which I
I
respect.
hate hobbies so much. Like they get so expensive so quickly.
Yeah, it depends on what you're doing.
I pick
Um,
the most expensive shit always for some reason. I don't
you
know why.
do. You fucking have spent so much money on keyboard stuff too. That's a really expensive hobby, which I would not have expected
Dude,
before
keywords
you
are
told me
so
about it.
cracked, bro. Like keywords are amazing. I have a 75% out there. Boys, anyone with a 75%, leave it in the comments right now. I'm telling you, keywords are so fucking nice, Eric. Like I wish I could give you one of my old ones. Because your shit is nasty, bro.
I've had the same keyboard. You and I are opposite ends on the keyboard extreme, man. I've had the same keyboard and actually the same mouse since I bought my first computer that I still use. 8 years ago now in high school with money I earned from working at McDonald's.
That's good. That's money well spent. It's lasting you.
Oh yeah, it's lasting me for sure. Um, yeah, no, I actually do really want to replace this keyboard at some point. But the keyboard and mouse themselves together were like, I think $60 total of the actual cost, maybe less.
Dude, that doesn't even cover the cost of like the switches I buy for my keyboard.
Yeah, no, you put in you invest a lot. You put a lot of money into that. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. I I'm not ashamed of it. I think it was at least I think the hobbies I got into are expensive, but like I think I took them at a good pace and like at a moderate like spending. Like I wasn't crazy with my spending, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I think with a lot of hobbies that involve electronics, it's just inevitable that it's going to get expensive, especially if you want to like work with the more interesting or newer tech. Um, it just gets expensive. My brother used to love taking apart. I mean, he still does love taking apart and putting together computers. He used to be a massive car guy.
Yeah.
But at some point he was like, "Yeah, I need to stop spending money because he'd buy this like he'd first spend like 1,000 on like a decent computer or computer parts and put them together, and then that would be his computer, and then like he'd try and get some modification to improve it, and so he'd take out something and spend more money to replace it, and then occasionally he'd break the equipment he bought, so he had to buy another one to fix it, and he ended up putting like 3K into a 1K computer. At that
Yeah.
point, he was like, "Yeah, if I have like a scrap computer, I'll mess with it, but I don't know, I can't anymore."
I get that feeling. Upgrading like computer parts is being a gamer specifically is ass because if you want to play the newer gen games, you don't need a 4090, granted. Like you don't need the brand new GPU, right? You don't need the brand like multi-threading 80 cores like CPU shit. But when you start off with a budget computer, like I had $1,000 computer. And then
Yeah,
it's like, wait a minute. If I want to play this game and like and it's not even like a necessarily like a really high end AAA game. It's just the fact that like we are getting to the point where like developers are making graphics that are like super hard to run on my 1660. I'm like, I am so fucked. I need to like upgrade. Plus, I followed the idea of like upgrade in 3 years, so I waited 3 years anyway. So it was worth it.
that's fair. Yeah, from my perspective, like I think I've learned you don't need the best equipment as long as you're willing to deal with some stupid shit when you're
Yeah,
playing games. Because I've had the same computer, $1,000 computer, but it was 8 years old at this point, and I still ran Baldur's Gate 3 on it. I mean, it didn't load everything super quickly. Like I definitely occasionally I'd load into a town and it was like all the buildings were invisible for
yeah,
like
that's
5
fine.
minutes. But like, you don't need the. I mean, honestly, I understand it. I perfectly understand it, and I want to upgrade my computer. I can probably upgrade it when I have a bit more funds, which will probably be no time soon.
If you've been in your case because you've had your computer for like years, it makes sense to upgrade eventually, right? It just
Yeah,
doesn't make sense to be like buy it and then 2 months later change it out and like okay, that's a little excessive.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, yeah, but it's surprising how much an upgrade can do on these things, man. My brother, I think it was like 2 years, like maybe when I just was in my senior year of high school or something. For my birthday, he got a SSD because that he was a computer guy. I mean, as I said, he's a computer guy. He's still alive. Um,
For
and
now, have you once last time you talked to him?
yeah,
You're like, oh
like
shit, wait.
months ago or something like that. No, not months ago, actually, weeks ago. We actually started playing games online together more, which is good. Used to be that I'd only see him at family gatherings or whatever. Um, what was I saying?
SSD.
Oh yeah, he got he'd heard me mentioning that like, yeah, I really like my computer. The only problem is it takes forever to boot up. Um, and he gifted me an SSD and installed it in my computer, and it improved my computer so much. My
Yeah.
computer boots up in like 20 seconds or less instead of like 3 minutes with the old hard drive. So I mean, I get I get the minute upgrades. I mean, that was like 6 years ago, but but I get the minute upgrades and why people want them. The quality of life is huge.
I mean, look at you now, Eric. You're working on quantum computers. So
That is
who's the real winner? Honestly,
that is sketchy hardware. If anybody's ever seen it, quantum computers. There's
listen,
no
man.
sketchier hardware.
If there's anyone that we believe in to further the advancement of quantum computing, it's you, Eric. Okay, you have to be the person. You're going to be the person. You're gonna win a Nobel Prize. I'm telling you, in the future.
Oh God, that's a long time ahead if it happens.
It will
Tell you
happen.
that.
It will happen. It's years of studying, years of research, years of looking at code. Okay,
Yeah.
in the making. It's gonna be worth it. I promise you.
I'm wondering if anybody's gonna win a Nobel Prize in the next 30 years for quantum computing related things.
Who
Period.
knows? You might get one when you're dead. You're like you come with like a weird theorem. You're like, it will work one day. I promise. We just don't know. We don't have the technology just yet.
Yeah, totally. Shit's crazy, man. Shit's crazy.
No, but outside of like computers, what other things do you like do as like a hobby?
Um, Honestly, I used to do more hobbies, but nowadays it's a lot of my time is spent like at work. But what I used to do when I was a kid was like I used to do taekwondo when I was a kid. Um, and what was the other thing I was gonna say? I don't know. Oh, chess. Duh.
Oh my god, yeah. You started off with chess, like really young, right?
Um, Not on the scale of chess players. I started off in seventh grade, which on a scale of chess players, like there are grandmasters who were, um, who or people who became grandmasters in chess, um, like a couple of years after I had started, basically,
Yeah.
or at the same time,
In
basically.
reference, you're like in as if you're like a grandpa starting off. You started way too old, Eric.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's the awkward part about chess is there's always like some kid who's younger than you, who's way better than you.
Yeah, it's always some Indian kid for some reason. I don't know why.
Not always, man. Sometimes that it's just always somebody fucking comes in and gets you. But yeah, the amount of times you end up getting um beat by kids when you're playing chess is in tournament level is crazy. No matter what level you're at. The I mean at the scale of like Magnus Carlsen drew the world chess champion when he was 13. uh, and he's the current world chess champion for the record. But
No, he's not.
well, oh yeah, he's not because he dropped out of
He
the thing.
dropped out
He
of the
didn't
candidates.
for it. It's Ding Liren, right?
Yeah, Ding Liren won, and then Magnus didn't. Dude, that's how giga chatty he is. He was like, "Nah, this shit's too easy, bro," and it's like, I'm not defending my title."
Yeah, it's a lot of time and effort to defend your title though. It is crazy. It's like a month of playing games and like the prep is ridiculous. Ugh. I don't know, man. Chess is an absurd scene.
No, it's
Um,
definitely a crack scene. Like you went to like tournament play in Chicago, right? You were like, what's it called? USCF is what it's called.
yeah, United States Chess Federation. Yeah.
So you actually went to tournaments in Chicago when you were younger, or like maybe around the area, even where we grew up, and
Oh
you
yeah, yeah.
competed against like kids your age, kids older than people, like adults maybe, like depending on your like rating you got, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it would go up. I didn't grow very quickly in rating necessarily. I started off at like about as bad as you can get, like 100 USCF, which is crazy. Um, like crazy low. I mean, I was young, and I didn't take it seriously until high school, or really take it all that seriously until high school. It was just kind of more casual. But then in high school, I had a team. We had the chess team.
Really,
Um,
because in my perception of like hearing your chess history, I thought you were like in middle school and like you were cracked out, and then in high school you came in, then like you got even more cracked.
no, I was like when I entered high school, I think I was like USCF maybe 1,000. Um, and I wasn't even boarded on the team.
But we had like way more people on that. No, your freshman year, our
We
freshman year, but
did.
like I wasn't
But
in the
like,
chess team until like junior year, I think.
yeah, we did, and I think I could have played like if they dedicated people to boards. I think I could have played board 8, for example, or board 7 and done okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But I wouldn't have done much better than that. Not even remotely. No, I spent a lot of time studying uh, chess in high school. It's actually how JC and I got super close.
You
Um,
guys started out in chess club though, right?
yeah, that's how we
Did you
met.
guys have a class together at all in freshman year, or was chess the only
Nope,
time you guys met each other?
it was purely chess.
Really?
The only time we ever met was in chess. We used to play games a lot together. Um, he had he had a very JC personality, like very energetic, very much like how it goes. And I was like a much more stiff person than I am now, way more stiff person. I would attribute being a much more loose and I guess chill person to having been friends with JC
Nice, nice,
back then.
nice. Yeah, JC is definitely the more cracked out of the three of us. I'll say that right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But he's a good guy.
But then you guys played chess together. You guys went to state, I believe. Did all of you guys go to state, or only the people who were boarded went to state?
Everyone went to state, and actually, JC and I played one game each on boards. Um,
Really? How's that?
yeah, yeah. I won my game on board 8, and he went on board 6, and I think lost or drew.
We'll say lost. I can see JC losing.
I think he drew, but I'm not sure.
No, we'll get his word for it. We'll see. We'll ask him another time later.
Oh, I remember. Actually, I remember the game, or I remember the end of the game now. He drew because the person didn't know how to play a pawn in game.
Okay, that's
That was
why.
why that was why I couldn't remember between loss or win or loss or
That's why
draw
it
because
matters to
he should have
practice your
lost.
end games.
Actually, if this is the game I'm thinking, uh, Eric, the other Eric on the team, um, we we may have pulled some bullshit in the background. We
Okay.
were standing behind him, and we looked at each other and we started mumbling um like quote unquote mumbling. You're not supposed to talk there. We were like, oh yeah, it's a losing position, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's no way to win this.
Oh, you guys are so assholes for that. That's correct. If any of the like fucking um refs heard you or adjudicators, whatever the fuck their thing's called, they would immediately like DQ us or some shit. Like a warning at the very least. But holy fucked.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was
That's
crazy. So
correct.
funny. Yeah, yeah. No, dude, chess tournaments are something else, as you know from having played in them, right? You didn't do many rated though, right?
No, no, no. I started chess junior year. Like you and I knew each other like acquaintantly like freshman sophomore year.
Yeah,
It wasn't until junior year that we had physics together and then we um did chess after that
yeah, yeah,
we actually became like good friends.
yeah.
Yeah, I was too busy playing volleyball and swimming. And then at some point I'm like, this shit's ass. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah. Also the business thing.
Oh yeah, dude, Deca was oh my god, that shit's
Yeah,
crazy. I mean
yeah,
that shit's easy as hell, but like that took some of my time.
yeah, yeah.
Um
But yeah, no, it was great when you joined chess. It was a lot of fun. Um, you got really into like very specific openings. The Evans Gambit, I remember.
dude, I was like, dude, I'm not gonna beat any of these fuckers. Like these guys are already fucking good. I might as well just like try to cheese a win or two. Which I did for record, okay?
Yeah,
Um
yeah, you did every now and again.
I did. But then I think at some point, like I think maybe halfway through my junior year of the chess season, I became like a little more tactically sound. Like I was still dog shit, but like I definitely had moments where I'm like, oh shit, I could do it, and I pulled off some wins.
Yeah, you started learning. You started studying, actually studying the game and getting a lot out of it.
Yeah, and then senior year, you and JC were like already when I joined. You and JC were like board 1 and 2, and then senior year happened. You guys were like got like even better. Granted, you got more busy, so there might have been a small decline, but it was because like you actually got
I got
research
I got worse.
opportunities, going to colleges, all that stuff.
Yeah, I got worse because I ran out of bandwidth to play. My junior year games were so much better than my senior year games.
My senior year games were so much better than my junior year games, mainly because I had 6 free periods and I did not give a fuck.
Yeah.
Me and
No, the
JC,
shit.
every study hall period, me and JC would just be playing chess.
JC, I don't think you realize just how dedicated JC was back in the day to improving his chess. Like, I'm still impressed with how much he. I remember he one day was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go home and do 100 chess tactics," and then he went home and he did 100 chess tactics in
Yeah,
a row.
I remember you guys telling me this shit, like how you guys were like forced to like just just do tactics for like the entire like club session sometimes.
Yeah, the old board one, uh, who stopped being the board one in our first year, second year from the
Wasn't he
dramatic
banned or some shit from Mr. K?
I don't know, something like that. It was some very big drama. Um, but yeah, he was the one who originally got. I remember his name finally, but I'm not gonna say. He got JC to actually sit down and do tactics that got him into like studying instead of just playing.
Yeah, yeah. No, I remember you guys telling me stories about this guy, how he would like have sugar packets in his pocket and just eat them like whole.
I wasn't as observant as JC. How the hell
That's
he
funny.
did that?
Apparently that old guy would have like packets of sugar in his pocket, take them out, rip them open, and then just eat it like that.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
It's
I
for the
wouldn't put it
glucose.
past him, but that's crazy.
I wouldn't put it past a chess player to do that, honestly.
Oh yeah, chess players pretty neurotic bunch.
I think the weird thing is like the three of us, like we were the core of our like junior senior year. I feel like maybe okay, Jake. I think you can argue he was definitely a part of it, but like he wasn't there with us usually. You know.
Yeah, I mean yeah. Well, I think the four of us, Adam as well, was a huge
Oh
forte.
my god, yo, freshman boy Adam was crazy.
Uh, yeah, we when we graduated, he was a sophomore. Yeah,
Yeah. We still call him a freshman though.
that's true. That's true.
No, but it was definitely like, us three that like made a culture those last 2 years. I feel like, and
Yeah,
was it a winning culture? No, but was it a good culture? Maybe.
yeah. I think we had. Yeah, I think we had at least a good culture. We got a lot of people coming into the actual club by then, just not people who were fucking freshmen, which
I know.
which killed
Oh
us
my
at the
god.
end. We had fairly strong upper boards, but we had really bad lower boards because people weren't staying long enough. Like we weren't getting freshmen to come and stay.
Yeah, I was also one of those lower boards, so might be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're fine. The problem is that we didn't have like the like you probably could have been a higher board, and then we needed a more fleshed out lower set of boards. Because if I remember, you did really well at state, right?
Oh, dude, I think I had a better record my senior year than my junior year, to be honest.
Yeah. And you were on a higher board. I don't remember what board you were though. You were like six, right?
Yeah, something like that.
And you got like 6-1 or something,
Dude, I
five and
went
one.
I went ballistic. No, I probably went more neutral. Maybe I think positive. Maybe what is it? So out of 7 games, it is right.
Yeah.
5-2, five. Maybe I might have I probably drew maybe drew like 1 or 2 games here and there, but I think I did a pretty good
Gotcha.
performance.
Yeah, man. My senior year was an embarrassing. I fucked up so bad so many times. I've still never I never got below a 50% win rate at state because I got a perfect score on my one game freshman year. I went 6-1 on four, board four, my sophomore year. I went 5-2 on my junior year on board one, and then I went 4.5 and 4.5 my senior year. But or not 4.5 and 4.5. 3.5, 3.5. That's how math works, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't deserve the win on my senior year, or I don't deserve to have gone even on my senior year, because my last skin was so stupid. I was in a 100% drawn position, and I needed the win to go even. And this guy was like trying to offer me draws, but there was a lot of like king movement, and I saw like one little path that if I could just get him to look past it when we were playing super quickly and miss this is a very important moment for me to like for him to draw if he checks me to force my queen to block and trade, then I can win. So I just kept moving around a bunch like I was doing it randomly, and he kept offering me draws, and he got slowly more complacent. And then I moved to the key square. He missed the move, and I got to the winning position.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice, nice. We like that. We
It
don't
was the
take
most
draws. We only
bullshit.
take W's.
And the only motivation, because we had already lost the round at that point, I knew it, was I didn't want to go below 50%.
I'm not losing. Yeah, you're a real KDA player there, Eric.
I was like, no, I'm not having this bad of a senior year. I'm going at least 50%.
I was offered money to draw my game.
Oh yeah, that was you. And you didn't take it, right?
Oh hell no! I was like, I'm gonna beat your ass.
You think it would have given it to you?
Yeah, he handed it to me.
Oh really?
No, I didn't take. Like, he definitely had the money on him. Like, he showed it to me,
Like
and then
showed it, and he was like handing it to you.
yeah, and then I was like, no, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you right now, like in chess.
That's crazy.
And I proceeded to win.
Uh, dude, sometimes those games are like some of the more fun ones. The ones where somebody offers you a draw, and then you win. So
Oh,
fun.
dude, those guys are already like losing the battle. Like, mentally, they're fucked. Like, I'm already like thinking about winning this game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I told Mr. K about how I was offered the money, and then he told me, yeah, he asked the same thing. He's like, "You didn't take the money, did you?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, of course not. I won." And then Mr. K goes, "Good job. You should have taken the money." Something along those lines. He was like, he was happy. He was proud that like, yeah, okay, you had good moral standing. You didn't match fix, but he was like, that's not a bad opportunity though.
Yeah, that's money. How much was it?
I don't know, like $200.
Oh my god.
I had more like stake in the fact that like I'd rather make sure that we have the best chance of winning than us like drawing. Like, fuck that guy.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm going to make sure that I'm playing for the team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I respect it. I respect it. That's a really funny reaction, but that's so Mr. K though.
I'll take it.
That's so funny.
No, but like overall, like how has chess for you specifically, like help you improve as a person?
Um, yeah, I mean, chess like I'd say in a lot of ways. I mean, from like a science perspective, it helps with like visualization and things like that. From like being able to visualize things like a chessboard or some geometry, do some good math in your head, things like that. So there's that. But from like a human standpoint, I would say just my patience. Um, I'm like a ridiculously patient person by nature. But I don't think it's by nature. I think it's because I played a lot of chess and because I taught a lot of chess. You have to be very patient to teach people chess effectively. And I used to do it all the time in back in chess because I used to teach the lower boards like a lot.
I mean, you
Very
taught me
active.
how to play chess.
Yeah, yeah. And would you say I was um, a patient teacher?
I mean, I had too much fun, honestly, to recognize. Like, I definitely know I was taking a lot of time to like make moves, and I could
Mhm.
definitely. I remember like, yo, hold, give me a second. You'd be like, no, it's fine, just take your time. So I would agree. Like, yeah, definitely patient teacher, but it helped me just be like feel comfortable. I'm like, okay, it's nice to know this person's not gonna yell at me. Just be like, move, dumbass. Like, he's not caring too much. Like, I'm taking 5 minutes, but um it felt good to know that like you that even during that time you still gave me tips or like gave me like, hey, look for this, or like here's some criticism like you could actually like provide.
Yeah, exactly. But that's because in chess, I feel like you can learn a lot from what people say, and they can guide your mental process. But I think you actually learn in chess from what you think and what you're considering, and the time you're taking considering moves in a tactic or considering moves in a position. So if you don't, as a teacher, have the patience to actually allow somebody to think or use their brain for what feels to you like an exorbitant amount of time for the position because you may be a stronger player, um, or for whatever other reason, they'll never learn because
Yeah.
you're guiding them. You can't hold somebody's hand through learning chess.
Yeah, that's good for like even in like any type of learning. One thing they teach
Yeah,
you like in your education classes is like you have to let the students struggle. Like you have to give them a chance to fail because if you just handhold them, as you said, like they're not gonna like make their own thoughts. So I appreciated
yeah,
that from like you and JC. JC was more of like beat your ass and then we'll talk about it. You were like, okay, let's just do this a little more analytically. Like make your move, replay the position, and then like we can talk about what's happening after.
yeah, exactly. So you make your move, think about it. Occasionally, I think I'd point out a tactic that either you missed or something about that in the position, have you use it as a puzzle. Um, but yeah, I think one of the nice things is um, you can get a decent memory or like a situational memory from chess as well. Like you can usually replay when you get to a certain level, you can easily replay games that you just played like over the board. Like just you go through a full game and then you can place every move on the board and you can reason your way through what happened next, partially with memories, partially with reasoning.
Yeah, yeah. I think I took that skill when we played League. I could replay an entire 45-minute match in my head. I'm like, oh my god, we fucked that up so bad.
I think that's one of those applications where it's like it's worse. You've gained a curse, not a skill.
No, but like I do actually like the memory aspect like definitely helped out because at some point I could have played the first like 10 moves like blindfolded and like play pretty accurately to be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
But then I'm like, okay, I'm actually like not good enough to like after 10 moves the board gets too cluttered and I'm like, uh king takes h4. Wait a minute, that's not legal. So rook on h on the h square already.
Oh no.
No, but it's I think it definitely helps out like as you said like in your case like science is like I understood when you like you and Mr. K had this thing like how like chess was like able to help you in visualizing like different systems in physics and maybe like other than the fact that you studied and like actually like really cared about like learning physics, how much did that actually play into like understanding the mechanics of our homework or of the AP exam? Like how much did that actually help you?
I think it helped I think it helped a lot just because you gain a lot more ability to like visualize a system. Instead of visualizing and analyzing the moves of something, you're analyzing, say, the motions of something, or keeping track of a concept, putting together concepts like puzzles. But I think a lot of even more of where it actually is helpful is in like mathematical reasoning, as well when you're doing like calculus or something like that, because you're dealing with these like you're able to keep track of operations in your head, things like that, a lot better. Um, I think there's a lot of ways that it helps. Definitely with visualization, though. I mean, there's um, yeah, just the ability to generate an image in your mind and track it is something that you have to do. You kind of have to do in chess to track the pieces or the boards to some extent, because you have to think like you have to think four moves ahead, but you have to also think of what's the most reasonable move that somebody can make. And if I was in their position, what would I do? So you have to think, you have to put yourself in different mental frameworks while you're working on it. And you still have to keep this in your head while you're doing it. So I think it just helps in a lot of ways. Chess just is really great in that sense. For any STEM activity, for example, or just um, art, I would imagine, even especially with that uh, um, graphical reasoning, things like that, that are very important for perspective in art.
What are like some hobbies that you think you want to take on in the future? Things that maybe if you had more funds or you had more time, you'd be like, I'd be interested in doing.
I A part of me wants to get into like gym wall rock climbing. I'd never do rock climbing on the
Oh,
side of a cliff.
you want to go? I'm down. I am so down.
Yeah,
We're gonna fall, but like, fuck it.
you have harnesses on, you know.
I,
I it,
if I'm your spotter, Eric, you're gonna like end up in a noose.
yeah. I I'm actually really bad with heights too, and I don't have great upper body strength.
Dude,
Um,
are you also? I'm also acrophobic, bro. Like, I hate heights.
Acrophobic. Is that the name for it?
I'm pretty sure. Look it up.
I guess that makes sense. I guess I would have thought that was a fear of acrobats.
No, I do have a fear of heights. Like, but the thing is, like, I like to look over the edge just to get that like thrill of like almost falling.
Oh yeah. Do you get that sickness that makes in like
Vertigo?
your heart that goes down to your stomach, and then you
Is
have to take some steps back?
uh no, I don't think so.
Pressure? No, I get that in certain contexts. If I'm like approaching, you know the sky deck in Chicago.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
When I was approaching that glass part where you're like standing on really thick glass, but you're completely surrounded by glass over the formerly world's tallest building, looking down under your feet at the roads where the cars are tiny ants. Um, that gave me the pressure in my heart and then sink to my stomach, and then
Okay.
you need to out kind of situation.
I think I would definitely maybe feel that. I probably would. I would have to feel it again, but I think I would try to conquer it by like jumping and like and shit, you know?
Jumping?
I think the
That's a crazy reaction.
I think the one thing is like I have this thing is like I think like if you have a fear or something, you should try to face it head on. Now, I have a fear of getting shot. I'm not saying to get shot, but um if there are things like you can conquer, I feel like one of the best ways is to like face it.
But
And
there's a difference between facing it and exacerbating it.
you
Like
don't
your
think
fear
me jumping on a glass flooring and like is not facing my fear of falling to the earth at a high
no, it's
height?
definitely facing it. It's just also exacerbating it because what you're doing is
Nah.
your your fear is that the glass will break, you'll fall down and you'll die. And facing the fear would be standing there anyway. Exacerbating the fear would be jumping on the fucking glass.
No, that would be true if I got more scared.
uh,
Listen, how is it really
it's
exacerbating
I
my
guess
fear
it's
of
not
heights if I like by actively jumping over a window?
yeah. I what I mean by that is less like making your fear worse and more like making a more extreme situation that your fears is reacting to. That's what I'm saying.
I'm
Like
just saying
exacerbating
I'm
the situation that's related to the
facing
fear.
it even more than a normal person would. Okay.
I guess it's
Yes.
like trying to face the fear of heights or the fear of falling by instead of jumping into a pool, you jump onto concrete and try and do a duck and roll. You know what I mean?
No, that's suicidal. Like if you jumping into a pool, it's one like that actually makes more sense. Jump into a pool.
Jumping on the glass isn't above like a height
It's
that
not
could
gonna
easily kill you. Isn't
break.
suicidal,
It's not gonna break.
but it's a much higher chance to break.
I
You might not break. It
it's
might
not
break your fall. You're not
dude,
gonna break
wait. Do
yourself.
you actually think they would have glass flooring there that could actually break on people's actively walking and or jumping on it?
No, there's a difference between walking and jumping. Like
Okay,
you got
you
some
don't think
extra.
there's like little kids who are dumb enough to be like,
If they're
weedy?
little kids, you're an adult.
Oh my god. We can go when you come to Chicago. We'll go there. And I'll prove to you. We'll make like a TikTok or some shit of me jumping on that.
You know what? You know what's gonna happen when you do that? The person who's dedicated to stand there and watch you is gonna be like, "Nah, dude, don't."
And nothing's gonna happen. It's fine.
Doesn't matter if nothing's gonna. All it takes is this thing having worn out over the longest amount of time and having gotten enough, like some sort of microfracture that you happen to exaggerate, that destroys it. You know what I mean?
I'll be fine, Eric. I'll be fine.
I don't know, man. You're crazy.
Oh
Anyway,
man.
what were we
Rock
talking about?
climbing, rock climbing.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know. There's some part of me that kind of wants to do it. It's also incredibly expensive to go rock climbing. I feel like consistently.
Do you think it's because of wait, actually I've never gone rock climbing. Other than the like of doing it in school or like at some other place, right?
Yeah.
But do you think it's expensive because the equipment you need to rent slash have, or is it like do you think they charge you like an hourly fee to be rock climbing in an area?
Like the latter, like an hourly fee or like a membership fee.
Hmm.
Shit adds up.
If that's the case, if it's a membership fee, I feel like if you go with someone every day, like maybe not every day, but like, 5 times a week, 4 times a week, like you can make it up, right?
Yeah, I guess that's true. I need to have somebody. I needed somebody who wanted to do rock climbing to go with.
Do you want to go more for the like exercise or for like the experience of rock climbing?
Uh, Both leaning towards the experience.
Okay. Dude, I'm telling you, if you come back to Chicago, we'll go to a gym together.
Yeah, I'd be down.
Yeah,
I'd be down.
we're not gonna do anything. We're just gonna sit down and just talk.
I do want to. I also want to work out more. I was working out before I went to my master's over the summer with my sister. She and I would go to the gym and work out together. It was really fun. We had a lot of fun together. Working out, we both got pretty massive gains that I totally lost over the last like year and a half.
No, they're still there. They're still there. You just gotta scratch the surface again.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it can be fun. Like working out can be fun. It's it if you're. I feel like I'm really bad at wanting to work out if I'm working out alone. But if I have somebody else to work out with, then I have a lot more fun with it. You know?
You think I'm the opposite?
Really?
I've been running. My thing is like I try to run a mile to 2 miles a day,
Hmm.
um and I want to be left to my own thoughts when I'm working out, mainly
Okay.
because I'm fighting like my inner demons in a sense. I'm not depressed, but it's just like when I'm like going through like a hard moment, I'm like I just need to focus and be like push, just keep going, and like I need to like show myself I can like by myself motivate myself to like get over this challenge.
That's fair. I respect that, and I think that works a lot better for running because running is an endurance thing. It's like something that you have to like push through in the long run. You have to like push through, and it's repetitive, so you have that like sort of like, oh, I need to stop and like jog in place or whatever the fuck you do when you're at like a stoplight. Um, and then wait to be able to cross the street.
Yeah.
Um, you're you have that free space to do that in your head. I respect that. I like that kind of environment. I am thinking like strength training, like working out with dumbbells or something. Um, I'm really bad at I've gone to the gym alone for a bit and like severely hurt myself from muscle soreness because I was working out alone and for there's multiple reasons, but one is that I'm like an anxious person by nature. So I am like, oh, I don't want to be sitting on this machine that somebody else could be using and doing nothing on it. So I start my next rep way too quickly.
Oh my god, Eric, dude, you gotta stop giving a fuck, bro. Listen, you got there first. You can leave your ass sweat and then like make them clean it up after.
I mean that I care less about because I mean I clean it up anyway because provide like wipes and stuff or cleaning solutions to clean this stuff
Yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah.
I just mean like sitting on the equipment for like 3 minutes between each rep and doing nothing, as opposed to like when somebody else is working out while you're working in tandem with somebody. It's just different. It's also hard to keep
No, bro.
to like measure time in that space.
Eric, you gotta go at your own pace, man. Don't care if people say go faster. Okay? It's like the chess thing, right? You can't make me. You gotta let me, do the tactic. You gotta let me like experience the board. You gotta take your time with each rep, man. If you have to, it's okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. It's something I want to do, but I also just have more fun working out with other people. I mean, yeah, you can like listen to music when you're working out alone, but like, I don't know. It's good memories working out with my sister for a while there.
Just fly her out to California.
Yeah. Want to go to the gym?
She definitely say yes.
Yeah. What was it? Oh yeah, there's a lot of like inside jokes I have with her now that have stemmed from that. You know that machine that you like grab and pull your arms out, and it's like meant for your,
Yeah,
I think,
yeah, yeah,
rotator cuffs or whatever it
yeah.
is. I could not for the life of me remember. I think it's rotator cuffs, or maybe it's not. Um, but whatever that rotating group is for your pecs, I would always refer to them as rotisserie chickens. Because I couldn't remember them. So it just became an inside joke. Like, yeah, get those gains on the rotisserie chickens.
Okay.
uh,
No, but
but yeah,
like rock climbing is like one thing you really want to like maybe hopefully in the future try out. Maybe make it into
yeah,
a hobby.
I'd try it out. Yeah, I'd want to try it out. It's one of those things I want to do with somebody, for a bit before even doing it on my own. Um, but yeah, I don't know. That'd be fun. I don't know what spurred me on to want to do that, but the part of me that does. What about you? If you had a other than like photography, what you're getting back into, something that you're not doing now for funding reasons or just because it's a lot of time and effort that you want to do in the future?
Oh, miniature painting.
Miniature, your Warhammer stuff.
I want to get into that. I definitely like if I had a little bit more money. And I did say that I wanted to do more like arts and crafts on streams. Like I'm building like a book nook, a DIY thing on stream tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I definitely think like the painting would be kind of cool, like making miniatures, having that stuff. But it's like it's cool. I feel like the process is nice. It's gonna be fun. Listen to music, podcasts, just relax, talk to chat. But it's like, fuck, where do I put this stuff after? Is the issue.
Hmm. That's fair. That's fair. Well, it'll just be like I don't know. I mean, you have like a giant card collection, right? I mean, this thing's can't be that much larger in volume, right?
Well, I mean,
Get
the
like
thing
a
is with the
tools
card
box, put
collection,
them in there.
sure, but the things like the card collection is the idea like you can I have like thousands, like of cards, right?
Hmm.
But it's that like because they're cards, I can put them in like they're flat, they're compactable. Well, I'm not pressing my cards. Don't worry, if I'm reselling anything, I'm not ruining them. But
Hmm.
because they can fit in such a nice like compact volume like a space, having thousands isn't too bad. But like to even have like 10 figurines on a desk, right? That's already like taking a lot of space up, and it's not like I can just like put them in a box because I don't want them ruined. Like I took time with them. So some figurines can be just like throwaway, but like I
I
guess
guess it's fair.
yeah, I want to keep them like nice is the thing.
Yeah, you can't have like a Hot Wheels box because of the shape differences across everything or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no like standard way to store it. I guess that makes sense. I could see that. But how large are these things?
Like a regular like toy soldier. It could be like from a toy soldier thing. Like some of them are like just fit in your palm of your hand. I don't have exact dimensions, but maybe a few inches. Sometimes if they're like really if they're big, you can get ones that are like huge, like you can hold like an action figure. But those cost
Yeah,
like hundreds of dollars, maybe thousands, and like you buy that specifically like when you have like that's just for like just to show like for offer collection, not to actually use in
gotcha.
the game. Oh, the other issue is I don't play Warhammer is the other thing. I read the books. I don't play the actual game, so it's just gonna be wasted.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you could use them for like if you ever did a D&D campaign or something.
Yeah, the Space Marine it comes out of nowhere as the paladin. Like it's crazy.
Uh, fucking hell, man. I gotta ask. All right, wow, that sounded dramatic. Um, I was gonna ask, do you have anything that you do um, that a lot of people like a some sort of thing you found either locally, like an activity or something that's kind of like niche that you enjoy doing with other people or doing on your own? Um, like my example would be if you know the rock band room
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah. I know you're talking
Ignite.
about. Yeah,
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 my
yeah.
my brother, sister, and I love going there. Um, for everybody else, it's there's a game called Rock Band, where there's like which a bunch of people know about, but in case you don't, it's they have like songs and they have instruments. So you have drums, uh, bass, guitar,
And
and
vocals.
and vocals, and they preload songs, actual songs from bands, and like match them to the instruments. So you can like have four notes on drums, or you can play the guitar and try and match that to the best of your ability to play the song. Usually, it's something you might do in like your living room. They have this dedicated. It's like a gaming lounge that has these dedicated rooms with massive speakers and like a huge projector for the game, where you can just like um, choose a song and just rock out to it and like do that for like just keep doing that for like an hour or two with up to like four people who are there or more if you want to rotate instruments. And it's just a blast.
That's a good family bonding experience.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's great. It's so fun. Um, but yeah, do you have something like that
I don't
that you
think
do? Like
so.
kind of niche?
Speed cubing is one, but like people do that.
That's true. That's true. I do think people know about speed cubing, surprisingly. Like a lot of people know about speed cubing, I feel like.
I don't think I do. I feel like the most niche thing I could say is like the book nook that I'm building or am I getting into of just
Mhm.
like building like these like 3D like little like decorative like essentially like books that are like bookcases you just put into your library or on your shelf. But there's like a Reddit community for I don't know, like I don't think I have something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of people play Rock Band. You know, it
That is
doesn't mean
true.
it doesn't have to be something that's like that insane, I guess. But it's the only reason why this is niche, or why that one is specifically niche. What makes it different than that is just that it's like, as far as I can tell, there's not a lot of other places that have these dedicated rooms that are
Like a
like
PC
soundproof
cafe. Oh,
rooms.
it's a PC cafe by the way we have in your
Yeah,
place.
it's a gaming cafe. It's not just PC. They have consoles and stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
and a bar and stuff. But yeah, it's like a gaming cafe, or gaming bar, gaming lounge, basically. Um,
I don't have one. I don't
yeah,
think so. Maybe the book nook is the closest thing, but I don't really know.